Gold Award, The Hidden Stresses of Eye Convergence. Darkness Can Turn into a Beautiful Rainbow by Sophia Mao. It is estimated that more than 10 million children from birth to age 10 suffer from vision problems.
Hi, I'm Marianne Gonzalez. Welcome to Teen Say. So today we are doing a show on eye convergence, and we have a lot of special guests with us, and we're going to learn a lot. And today we will meet our assistant producer on the show, Sophia Mao. Hi, Sophia.
Hi.
So we already did an interview with you and Mom, and we're going to see some of that too mixed in, so you know you're getting two shows. With me also, I have Dr. Carlisle. Hi, Dr. Carlisle.
Hello.
And you are?
So I work with Doctors Davis and Johnson at Virginia Vision Therapy Center. I'm a developmental optometrist, and we have 4 offices in Northern Virginia. We're in Manassas, Springfield, Fredericksburg, and Winchester.
And what do you do?
I specialize in the part of optometry that looks at how the two eyes work together and how the eyes develop from infancy on up to senior. So, yeah.
And we have Dr. Avery. No relation to the Avery Award on Grey's Anatomy.
I'm trying to give it to him, but I take it home with me.
But she's going to get the Avery Award today. So, Dr. Avery, can you tell us?
I'm a psychologist as well as a life coach. I have a doctorate in cognition and instruction, which is how I was able to help Miss Sophia here, and also general psychology and life coach, and I'm out of Stafford, Virginia.
Thank you. And Sophia, tell us about eye convergence and why you wanted to do this show today.
Okay, well, I experienced eye convergence personally, and I just didn't want like other kids to suffer the way I did, like with self-esteem and just like being like school being really hard and stuff. And yeah, so I just felt like I wanted to help other people that were like
great.
Yeah. And
that's the reason we do Teen Say, and so people can vent, learn, and share. So let me meet all our guests. I'm going to hand the mic around and tell us who you are and why you're here today. You guys can just go this way, and then we'll pass it this way.
Hi, I'm Jasmine West, and I was one of Sophia's people in her video, and also I helped her with her workshops.
Hi, I'm Thomas. Assisted her with the video as an actor, so I'm a friend of hers, and I'm happy to be here today. So
great, thank you.
Hello, my name is Marlo. I am Vice President of GQ Ministries, and I assist Dr. Avery, and I'm here to support Ms. Sophie.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Leanne and Emma. I've been Sophie's Girl Scout troop leader for 7 years, and I'm very proud to support Sophie in this endeavor and to see how she's developed over these years.
Hi, I'm Jeremy Plotnick. I'm the president of the Chantilly High School PTSA. I'm very happy to support Sophia on this and to support all of our students.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mary Luia. I was Sophia's 5th grade teacher at Greenbrier East, and I'm so thrilled to be here to see what a wonderful woman she has become, and so excited to see her share with us her knowledge and her experiences.
Hi, I'm Kelsey Luia, and I was brought along for the ride, and I'm looking forward to learning more about eye convergence.
Who's on the ground? Tell us.
Oh, this is Mojo. He's my service dog. My name is
The cameras might need a minute. Do you all have Mojo? Sorry.
He's not going to say anything. That's a good thing.
Oh, okay. It's quiet today. Huh?
My name is Maria Reutman. I go as Marshmallow, and I am Sophia's mentor from the Girl Scouts Council of the Nation's Capital Gold Award panel, which we're really excited that she's done all of this good work, and I really enjoyed working with her.
Hi, I'm Marcelo, and I am the spouse of Maria, and I'm here to learn more about Sophia's journey through eye convergence.
My name is Quincy. I'm here to support how I could see better.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 10 years old and I'm about to turn 11.
Awesome. Happy birthday.
Hi, my name is Angela Humbert, and I'm here to support Quincy, who had the eye convergence insufficiency, and he went through a year with Dr. Carlisle, and now instead of using one eye to see things, he uses both eyes, and he's doing very well in school.
Awesome.
My name is Gregory Humbert, and I'm here to support Quincy, keep him straight.
That's Dad. Hi.
Hello, my name is Michael Mao, and I'm the father of Sophia.
The proud father, huh?
Yes, the proud father.
And I'm Addie, Sophia's mom, and I'm just proud to see how she has grown and how she is learning, how she is teaching people what occurred and to make a difference to help other children and families. And so teachers will also know to keep an eye on these things and really make a difference.
Great, thank you. And yes, Addie came to us, and that's why we're all here today, so thank you.
My name is Isaiah Carlisle. I'm Dr. Carlisle's son, and I went through vision therapy too.
And how did it go?
It's good. I see better now.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, so I am going to go over here to the Girl Scout leader.
Girl Scout Award is the quintessential community service project that you can have as a Girl Scout. And what it does is it empowers girls to make a difference in the world. So the projects have to be very impactful and lasting. And I know this is a very personal project for Sophia, and I'm so glad she's doing this. And the other part with the Gold Award is there's other awards that the Girl Scout program helps you with, and that's why I'm extremely proud. Sophie had come to us more with the Silver Award, which was the step up, and she learned all of the tools to get her to this point where she can do this full project to make this huge impact to the community. So for me, I got to see a lot of the pieces to put in place, and now she's literally taken that over, and I'll let her Gold Award mentor really talk more about her journey through that. But I've seen more of how the hard work has over the years kind of put little seeds to help her grow into where she is now. And that's where I know her Gold Award mentor had a lot to work with, and I'm so proud of how this has all come together.
Perfect, thank you. Before we come to you, we are going to go to Dr. Carlisle. You have your own mic. And can you tell us what Eye Convergence is?
Sure, okay, so we should all have the ability to converge and converge well. So when we look far away, I'm going to try to be as simple as I can. When we look far away, our eyes should be relatively straight. When we need to focus on something at near, they have to converge in. So both eyes will come in. The image from this eye and the image from this eye need to lock on tight, right on top of each other. And not only do they need to do that, but it needs to be really fluid. Like we need to go back to far away, look at the board, come back here, back to far away, come back here. And when we read, we converge and we sweep, and we converge and we sweep. So if you have poor convergence, which we use the big fancy term convergence insufficiency, or CI, that becomes really difficult. So things take longer. What should take 20 minutes could take an hour to get through. Some kids will just push through it. They get headaches and eye strain. Some kids give up and just do a different task, because this is definitely a non-preferred kind of world right here. And some kids get labeled, unfortunately. They get labeled as not so smart, not a hard worker, attention deficit we see sometimes as a result of this. So it really is a big thing that is kind of hidden. Unless your child has an eye that turns all the way out or all the way in, it's not going to be detected usually until you go see a developmental optometrist or a professional that recognizes some of the symptoms. And I could talk forever, but some of the more obvious symptoms are the things, the struggles that I expressed just a minute ago, but also, like LaQuincy's mom said, kind of looking like they're looking out of one eye and not looking straight on it, things, or kind of just rubbing one eye a whole lot, or kind of covering an eye. Those kind of things are doing this a whole lot for a kid, are things that could trigger, an investigation into that.
So do you want to tell us a little This is Addie now. So Addie, do you want to tell us a little about the journey for Sophia? Was it hard to detect hers? I know you had mentioned that you didn't know what was going on at first. You kind of took the blame, right?
Right. One of the things that I had noticed when she was little is that she would have her head, when she'd watch TV, she'd always be looking at it like this. And we mentioned that to a couple of doctors. They said, oh, no, there's nothing wrong with her. And in school, she started struggling. It was like, Mom, I'm trying. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. We see the tutor, talk to the teacher, have her go to summer school, all these things. And it's like, what is it? And one of her doctors, the optometrist, mentioned she may have that issue. I didn't know. And when one of her teachers from 5th grade said, I think we need to have her evaluated. So we had her evaluated. And I said, you know, her optometrist mentioned the poor convergence. So we got a referral, and that's what it was.
How long did this journey take?
Oh, it took a long time. And so she had eye therapy through computer. And, you know, she continued being, after that, she was on a roll all the way through as a senior. But in junior year, she started having problems again. Headaches, fatigued, feeling sleepy. We were kind of lost because then she started getting unfocused. And then, you know, we went through 9 different doctors, you know, had a lot of screenings. And we finally, that was dyscalculia was one of the things. And the eye convergence resurfaced. So we're like, wow, thought she was taken care of, but. So it's been a learning experience.
What a great mom. Do you want to share anything, Dad? How was the journey?
Well, it was very educational in the sense that, as mentioned, it's not something that you commonly are aware of. And I'm kind of old school, so I'm like, okay, the problem is the lack of motivation and so forth. So we just need a little bit more rigor to her routine. But when that
my husband totally relates.
But it was obvious that she was putting forth the effort, so it must be something else. And fortunately, you know, my wife Addie had taken the opportunity to go and have it researched more. And then when we came to it, and then it was kind of like one of those awakening moments where when we heard about it, it's like, well, that makes sense. I mean, I'd never heard about eye convergence, I think like many people. And then it's like, oh yeah, that makes sense. That's what it must be. So it was a struggle for everybody because none of us were sure what was actually going on.
Do you want to? How did you feel when you were going through it and you didn't know? Like you knew you were trying. Tell us a little about that.
I mean, I felt really stupid and dumb like all the time, and I don't know. I was like, I always wish that I was smart like other kids. I'm like, why can't I get it as fast as other kids? Why am I like born stupid and stuff? So I'd always like put myself down like that all the time.
Oh no! So you had your work cut out for you, Dr. Avery. Now you know you're smart, right?
Yeah.
Right. See this great project you're doing to help others.
When I first met Sophia, she came in and self-esteem was one of the biggest things on the checklist. She had experienced some other things. Unfortunately, you guys were lucky that as a younger age it was pre-caught and had treatment and those things, but there's some teens that go without it, and how they end up in my office is usually from a suicide attempt or a stay at an inpatient facility. And
from their eyes?
Believe it or not, when we get to the part, it's like they go through all that. What happens is I'm trying, I'm putting forth my best effort, I'm giving you everything I got, and I'm not succeeding. And I'm gonna give up. And a lot of times when you're a teenager, you don't have those compensatory mechanisms like as an adult to overcome and persevere and push through. So that usually ends up on giving up on life. And they feel as though that I'm not gonna go anywhere or it's not gonna get any better because if I've given my best and I still come up at 0, what's left to give? Why am I here? And so that usually leads to the depression and the anxiety when they go to school. You'll start to see your child, my child's brilliant, she could put this together in 5 minutes. However, I can't get her on the bus to go to school. What's the difference? And I had Sophia, she came in, she says, oh, I'm stupid, I don't do good. I have this learning difference in school. And we assessed her and I'm like, she's above average. And so she takes her time, but I also was a special ed instructor. And so I got to see and watch this for the cognition instruction come in. I'm like, she leans her head to the side. She does it. I didn't know she had had previous training and things. And I said, wait a minute, she has all the classic symptoms that Dr. Carlisle and Dr. Davis had talked to us about and do things. And I've seen this in so many. And I don't know how many kids come with an ADHD diagnosis, and using the tools that we have in psychology, that would be correct. But when you know more, you know that was incorrect, that it was the inconvergence insufficiency, or you have them both and they play a part. I can get you medicine for ADHD, but it's not going to change your grades if you have that convergence insufficiency. So with doing that, I noticed that she had all the symptoms. I do not think she has a learning disability. I can prove it because I've done all the psychological tests. So I don't know where that came at this time. And doing that, and I said, and I started talking to Mom. She says, yes, when she was younger, I think. And she said, but I thought that was once you do it, it never. And I said, I was taught where as we grow and mature, certain things don't continue to develop. Things. Here's a referral. Please go see these individuals, because I think if she knows and has an answer, then now I can then begin to work on her self-esteem to know that there is somewhere for her to go. She's not at zero. And that's where this journey started for she and I.
So would you like to share something about that journey? While you're listening to her, what are you thinking?
I was just thinking that I was really grateful to have like really great doctors and people by my side to help me get through this.
Can I add something?
Yes, for sure.
As Dr. Avery was talking, you know, we really don't know how anyone else sees. So these kids, as they're going through the educational system, if they're not seeing as well as the kids next to them, and the kids next to them are flying through these assignments, they do internalize. They have no idea. It's because a lot of them are seeing double. So can you imagine trying to like see double, pull together, and yet they don't know that everybody doesn't see that way. So why is this so hard for me? As Sophie was saying, like, why is this so difficult? They don't have any sort of frame of reference for that. So it's really important.
So from a teacher's perspective, how did you know in 5th grade that there was an issue? So it's great when teachers can really look and see what the issue is.
I think for Sophia, you kind of sense the abilities of a student. And Sophia had always been a hard worker and always tried her best. You know, she could be put in the front of the room, but as the doctor said, you don't know if a person has an issue by looking at them. And I mean, we can also carry over that to the psychology aspect of it. You know, a student who's jumping around, you know, obviously little bells go off in a teacher's head saying, okay, well, we're going to have to take care of this, and we're going to have to maybe bring this child up and do some screening. But in regards to Sophia's situation, she was being a great student. She was attentive, but yet she wasn't able to, as you said, keep up. But I always knew that she was able to do it. And so, you know, I credit Addie for continuing and persevering and looking to see what the issue was. And now you see Sophia and how it's improved her self-esteem and her development, and what a wonderful young lady she is.
What a great teacher. Thank you so much.
I don't know about that, but
she's a great teacher, isn't she? Yeah, she was. Not in 5th grade anymore, but yeah. Do you want to tell us a little about your journey and what you went through, Mom, and how?
Sure. So, like I said, I noticed that he was primarily using one eye to look at things.
Not sure.
And he amassed this collection of eyeglasses. Like everywhere he would go, he would pick up glasses or buy them out of the dollar store. And then I was thinking he was trying to cure his own eyes because he knew, you know, something was a little off.
Wow.
So I was reading the Fredericksburg Parent Magazine, and they kind of described all of the symptoms. So I went and had him evaluated.
Where?
Dr. Sy.
No, at an eye doctor? You went
at
to
an eye doctor because his pediatrician had tried to administer the eye exam, but he wouldn't sit through it. So I took him to Dr. Sy, and she explained to me that he saw the words going up and down, and so, you know, and it took and she told me how much the therapy would cost, and it was a little overwhelming. but we found a way to pay for it, and then we ended up with Dr. Carlisle, and he just thought he was playing.
Very good.
So, I mean, and his teachers even commented on how much he had improved over that year, so I'm so pleased to know that. And I had spoken to people, and half of them said, oh, they just want to take your money, and then the other half had said, oh, it really works, so I didn't know what to think. So I said, I'm just going to try it.
Excellent.
And it worked out really well. And it calmed him down a lot.
Oh, that's great.
You may not be able to tell today, but it did calm him down a lot, because now he's able to focus for longer periods of time.
How'd that make you feel, Dad?
He's not messing with my head.
Quincy, what do you want to say? Then I'm going to go to you. So, what do you want to share about what you were going through? When you were seeing the words, do you remember when you were seeing the words going all over the place?
Yes.
Tell us about that. Did you tell any of your friends or your mom, or how did you know you wanted to pick up these glasses? Why did you pick up the glasses?
I wanted to pick up the glasses to see better.
Ah, was it helping?
See better. Yes, it was helping.
So tell us about the words. What were the words doing? You're fine. You could just hold the mic like that. There you go. It's cool, huh?
It was fine. It was fine. It was fine with wearing glasses.
But what about the words? When you saw all the words going all over, how did that feel?
It feels good. Really good.
Okay. Okay.
What Mom said is I want to be an eye doctor to help people see better.
Yay! Very good. All right. We'll look for you. Okay? I will bring my grandchildren to you. So, do you want to share what you went through with your eyes? How did you know you needed therapy? Mom just tested you, or did you tell Mom there was a problem?
My mom just figured out because
I figured.
I don't know how.
She just knew.
Well, it's morning for these boys, so they may not seem especially active, but my child was one of the childs that was moving around quite a bit. So when our vision doesn't give us really reliable information, we will seek information from our other senses. So when you've got the kid that's tapping, moving all the time. I mean, he would have, in first grade, you would have preferred to be moving pretty much all day long, right? Not that atypical from a normal first grade boy, but I knew some of the things to look for. I mean, spinning, moving, bumping, all those things are trying to get more input. So when we tested him, yes, his vision wasn't giving him great input, and his vision and vestibular systems weren't matching real well. So that's how he landed in vision therapy. And yeah, he had fun. And
tell us about vision therapy. What do you do?
Yeah, vision therapy is like Quincy's mom said, it seems like it's playing. The kids are actually doing all the work. I make the diagnoses and I do the progress checks, but our therapists do the therapy with the kids, and they're really teaching and guiding the kids to lay down new neural pathways in their brain. So it's not just that the muscles aren't strong enough, it's that they're not working well together. So what do? We teach the brain how to use those muscles effectively. And we set up lots of different conditions, and we have them up and moving and on their feet and really dynamic. So it feels a little like play, but they're working hard, and they usually see us once a week for anywhere between 6 and 12 and even more months. So it is a huge commitment, for sure, but it's entirely worth it. And I think that's the piece at the other end that only a parent can really testify to.
For sure.
And I'm so proud of Quincy. I am so excited that you want to be an eye doctor. I think that's wonderful. And as you go there, keep checking in with me, and I'll, become a developmental eye doctor, because they're great. And Isaiah came in second in his school spelling bee a couple weeks ago, so he was especially proud of that, right? But all the kids, Sophia, I mean, they all work really hard, and I think once they get a sense that I'm not the only one, there's a community that builds, would you say? Yes. The therapist gets them, the other kids in the therapy room get them, the doctors get them. Not everything, maybe, but we get what your visual system's doing. So it's really rewarding. It's neat. And somebody had mentioned about Dr. Avery about the anxiety and the self-worth piece. There's actually not really new, but I think becoming a little bit more present.
Yeah.
Research about young kids in juvenile delinquency centers, even in jails. And if you took them out and tested their visual systems, there's a higher percentage of visual dysfunction.
If you're willing, as parents, we think about paying $60,000 and $70,000 and $80,000 for a 4-year college education, but your child will never make it to that point if you don't take that $2,000 to $10,000 or whatever it costs, depending on their need, for this particular therapy, because it controls and affects their whole life, from, like she said, from the self-esteem to anxiety to wanting to take their own life to behavior. If I'm sitting in class, think about it, 7 hours a day, and my eyes aren't doing what they're supposed to do, it's like being in school and someone speaking a foreign language that I can't speak. So I'm gonna have behavior issues. I'm gonna look like I'm ADHD. I'm gonna rock and do all sorts of things. I'm gonna look like I'm not putting forth my best, but I can't, because one of the main things that I need isn't functioning correctly. And so I say this to parents all the time. If you found out your child was diabetic, would you not get them the insulin? Same thing with their eyes. If their eyes aren't working properly, why would you not get them the care they need? Is the cost now worth the consequences later?
Mm-hmm. Yep. Do you want to share with us about the Gold Award and how that all works? And I guess the Gold Award is going to be, everybody's going to see this project that she's doing and learn more about it. And
well, the way that the Gold Award works is that it's very similar in some ways and very different from what many people know about the Eagle Award in Boy Scouts. It's the highest award. However, the prerequisites are different, whereas the Eagle Award, it's a number of badges over a period of time, etc. The way that this works is a lot of it, we have to do an actual journey, which actually I was really excited to be able to give some credit where it's due. Evidently, Sophia had not done a journey and she was sort of, worried about this. And she actually got involved with another gold panelist, my colleague, Maureen Malot, who got involved with her and did a whole journey, which is sort of like an exploration project on nutrition. She did some stuff having to do with nutrition. Anyway, the long story short is that kind of sets you up to have those skills and to take it one more step. Now, as a panelist for the Gold Award, that's how we actually met. Was she came in and we realized that she did not have everything that she needed, but she explained, hey, I really want to do this. My life has really been tough in my junior year of school, and somehow can you help me make this happen? I know that I haven't gotten everything in the way I'm supposed to. And of course, we wanted to do some special accommodations for the thing. And I was really excited because I could see that she was really passionate. And I think that shows a lot of strength. And we want girls to be able to make a difference. Well, through the Gold Award, she has to do a minimum of 80 hours, but it's not service, it's leadership. So she essentially took on the whole idea of how am I going to connect and make a difference? How am I going to get an awareness, a public awareness out there about this? But also, how are you going to have that contact time where you actually get in touch with people? We said, well, it's not about just getting on TV or whatever, this is icing on the cake. Who's going right? No, but this is icing on the cake. But who are the people that are coming in contact and learning about these things? Well, it's got to be somebody that figures out, hey, my eyes aren't working right. And so part of the big thing with the Gold Award is that you have to put together a team. And actually, a lot of kudos goes to her 2 team members in the front row, because they got out there and they worked with children and they made it fun. I mean, how exciting can this possibly be for 4th and 5th graders after school? But that's the big thing, is the team, the projects, the workshop, and then keeping it going, pulling in the PTSA, pulling in people, getting the word out. That's what we want to make a measurable difference, and she's doing it.
Thank you so much. So Jasmine, tell us, and Thomas, tell us about the team. I saw pictures, we're going to show some, of you working with the kids, and we did a few of the tests that you guys went out, not tests, but
the stations.
The stations. So tell us a little about that. How was it to go out to the schools? And
okay, going out to the schools was, I think it was the fun part, actually. We got to work with the little kids. They were so cute. And we did the stations. I had one station that I had to hold up a poster, and there was 3D pictures on the poster.
Have it. We're going to put it up. Yep.
And then we gave the kids the 3D glasses, and they had to look at the pictures and, like, you know, tell us what the pictures were. And that was my station. So.
How long did you work with Sophia, and what made you take an interest in this project? Was it for Girl Scouts as well, or?
No. She had asked me, and I, like, obliged, because I was like, okay, well, I want to help her out with her project, or, you know, what she's doing. I want to support her, so, yeah.
So it's quite funny because Sophia asked me to join her on the project, and I was like, oh, of course we'll do that. And I had no idea about the Eye Convergence, and I kind of, through the experience, I learned a lot about it, sometimes even more so than the kids. But I've worked with kids before, so it was a really pleasant experience just to work with more of them. I just love how innocent they can be, and to see where they can go sometimes, and it was just an awesome experience. My station was to find balance with, it was like a pole, so I had to
we have pictures.
Yeah.
We're going to put them up.
So I demonstrated you have to walk straight, and some of them were more or less successful, but it was a simple therapy practice, and I think I learned a lot, just as much as the kids did about this. It was a really interesting and enjoyable experience, and I loved it. So.
Yeah. Thank you. You guys are great friends. Do you want to add anything else? Yeah. They just love to clap. I love it. It's very inspiring, right, Dr. Avery? Yes. Sorry.
No, I would agree with Tom. It was a really good experience, and I just loved working with the kids, and her mom was so supportive too, and everyone just like came together to do this for Sophia, and I think that's a really good thing.
And not only for Sophia, but right?
Yeah.
Because this is going to benefit a lot of people that find out about it.
Yeah, and yeah, it was beneficial for us too, to learn more about, you know, Eye Convergence, because I didn't know what the heck that was when she told me. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll help you with whatever you're doing. So, yeah, it was good.
Great. Well, thank you. What do you want to do when you get older? Or when you graduate? You're a junior, senior?
I'm a junior, yeah. So I wanted to go into animal science or film. They're two completely different things. But,
yes.
I want to do either one of those. I don't know which one yet.
Yeah, you have time to explore both.
Yeah. I'm looking into colleges right now. I was thinking about VCU or Richard Bland or something like an HBCU college.
Good.
So yeah. That's good.
Thank you. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
You'll be wonderful. What do you want to do when are you a junior?
I'm a senior.
Senior.
So I'm going to go to a community college, and then transfer to Virginia Tech to become a civil engineer.
Wow.
So very exciting.
That's a great road. We did a show with a few people that talked about doing it that way too, going to a community college and then your four-year.
Financially, it's a great option.
It is. So. And plus you make sure that you really want to be there and you want to learn.
I think as a hobby I'm working on music too. So it's all kind of like an artsy side, and then I can work on something, a plan A, mathy. I'm a geek. So,
good.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Geeks get very rich.
Yeah. All in all, I'm really glad I got to take this opportunity to help my friend, because I'm seeing it's a much bigger thing than I expected. It's because it seems like something that a lot of people are affected by, and I mean, there's a lot of things that I think that go under our radar. And I think exposing at least one of them is nice, and I'm sure a lot of people can get help from this, and it's just really exciting idea of that. So that's all I want to add.
Thank you. So Sophia, what do you want to tell us about asking all these wonderful people to join you in your project? How was that? How did you feel when they said yes, too? You can add that.
I kind of felt surprised because, I don't know, I felt like some of them would be like, oh, that's so stupid, like Girl Scouts, Gold Award, like what the heck? That's what I felt like, so I was just going to be like, all right, hopefully they'll say yeah and they won't think I'm like lame or something. So I asked them and then they said yeah, so I was happy that they wanted to help me.
And then they got to come down to the TV station, and that's so cool. Well, great.
And you had other helpers too that maybe aren't even in the audience today, right? Like it's a bigger network of helpers.
How many are on your team?
There's like 3 different teams.
Oh.
Yeah. So
how many kids?
I don't know, like 10 or something at least.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So spiritually, this is great that everybody wants to help everybody. You want to add something about that? On the spot. Oh my goodness.
Did not know I had to speak today. Not only spiritually but emotionally, I think this is good for teens and young children to know that they're not the only one. And it's definitely going to be beneficial because it's educational, gets the word out. I had no idea about eye convergence until today. And a lot of the symptoms I know that Miss Sophie had, I'm like, oh my God, I did that when I was a child. You know, so definitely educational. And again, working with children, of course, is always inspirational. So kudos to you, Miss Sophie.
Thank you.
Yes.
So I work in healthcare, and I'm listening to all of this, and again, I was brought along for the ride, but it's fascinating to me because I think that this is a perfect example of where healthcare is headed in the future. This idea of collaboration and, you know, having the spiritual side, the emotional side, the physical side of health all represented together, because the truth is when you have parents and you have psychologists and you have physicians all working together, then we're all going to be better and more healthy. So I think it's just a perfect example of really, you know, this idea of population health and working together to not just have the physician, you know, be the only person fighting for health, but that everybody is working at it together in the community.
Yay! I like that. Very true. So, the president of the PTA at Chantilly High School.
So they tell me.
So they tell you. So how do you feel about this project, and why are you here today?
Well, we came to the project somewhat late, just about a month ago. Sophia reached out to me and asked if she could present at our monthly board meeting. But yeah, of course. I have to say, she writes the best email. It was clear, it was cogent, it had collateral support. It was,
wow.
It was an ideal businessy type email.
Did you hear that?
Seriously, that's what the journey's about. It actually sold the project to me anyway, and I forwarded it to my board, and they said, of course, that's really what we're here for, is to provide a forum like this. So she came with Jasmine to be videographer and presented to myself on my board, my committee chair is faculty liaison, principal, and did a really, really clear, expert presentation. And it was a learning for all of us. I've been wearing glasses since I was like 3.
Yeah.
I had no idea of this particular issue. Yeah, it was great.
Wow, thank you. Yeah, sometimes that's why we have to go through things. So we can, you know, we're like, why did I have to go through this? And I used to say, you know, wow, what am I, like the tester? But it's to help other people. We never know why we're somewhere, but we can turn every bad situation into something to help someone else.
I would like to piggyback on that from a comment made in the back and from Dr. Carlisle. Sophia's about to hear something for the first time, and I'm trying not to get emotional because I don't do emotions. Sophia, you actually inspired me. I had been, well, Sophia's family know, but a lot of you and my coworkers know, I have high-functioning autism, And I had done that path where I have a degree in chemical engineering, business, information systems technology, special education, on and on. But my greatest heartfelt was service and helping others. And through working with Sophia and doing things, I realized that that's what I love to do most and what I was called to do most. So I actually took on a research position and started a nonprofit back in June, co-founder of a nonprofit, GQ Community Services, and that's what I get to do all day long, is help other people and inspire them and do the things that I love. So I would like to thank you for giving me the courage to step out in faith and get from beyond the office. You know, a lot of times we, you know, from sunrise to sundown, we're stuck in an office, and yes, we do help people, but it's nothing better than the greater impact of helping and affecting the community. And I want to thank you for helping me and recognizing that.
Yeah. What do you want to say, Miss Sophia?
Wow, I'm just surprised that I inspired your life. Wow, yeah. I don't know what to say. It's really like, wow.
Addie, you want to add anything? You help a lot of organizations get noticed and try to inspire your daughter, your son, and everybody they know.
Oh, do you want me to?
Oh, yes, I do. Sorry.
I guess my parents were always giving, and so, you know, it's just like Miss Marshmallow always says, it's karma. You give, you get, and it's a whole whirlwind. And that's why I always tell Sophie, you had guardian angels. Everybody here is a guardian angel, and she had a vision. She was honest, she was sincere, she had her mission. And look at everybody. So because of her passion, because I did tell her at one time, Sophie, you know, you don't really have to do the gold if you don't want to. It's going to be a journey and it's going to be challenging. But she said, Mom, I want to make a difference. I want to help other people. And here we are, and I'm sorry. It's just been a long journey, but to see her be confident and to be working with doctors, with teachers, with children, everybody, that's the ultimate reward. It's just keep working with everybody because here's her path.
And it makes a mom very proud.
Yes, it does.
Especially when moms and dads see you not accomplishing all you want to, and then the light goes on, we find out why, and then you start succeeding. I know one of my children said after they were tested, he had a speed processing issue, but was genius. Could do trig problems, but his friend could do it in 15 minutes, 20 minutes. Took him an hour. So he got it right, but he was frustrated. We didn't know why. Other people said, dads all said, get to it. But it was more than that. We had to learn about the speed processing. So after he was tested, he said, you mean I'm not stupid? I'm smart? And then he went to UVA and voila. So yes, I know how you feel. And
yes, exactly. And then she ended up, you know, when she started doing her workshop, she wasn't looking forward to it. But as she moved along, she started using her own skill. She started saying, okay, I'm not that good with talking to everybody. I'm going to have Jasmine introduce me. Next workshop, I'm going to have Tom. And then she's like, after we finished the workshop, she's like, you know, they're tired, Mom. They've done so much. We need to feed them, Mom. And I'm like, okay, let's treat them. And
teenagers wanting food. What a new concept.
So
I don't know.
It became such a win-win situation. I mean, everybody just embraced and worked. And I said, that's what leadership is all about. It's taking care of each other, valuing everybody's skills, and that's what it's about. And look at everybody that's here today.
Addie, thank you so much.
Thank
we
you.
are running out of time. So Sophia, I want you to give, before we get to that, I want to say that anybody can do a public access show for Channel 10. You have to contact the training department and you can do your own show. Right, Sophia?
Yeah.
She's going to try and do her own show, I think, right? Yeah. We'll see. But yeah, so please do. And we have summer camps and stuff. Check them out. Very cool. You will love them. And then you can also become a camera person here. and help out on shows. We are all volunteer based, so it would be wonderful. Anyway, so that's my little spiel for Channel 10 today. So in closing, one thing quickly from each one of you. Quickly, they're like winding it up.
I believe that greatness is created. Everybody says it's born, but you can do whatever you want to be. There's different variants of greatness, but be your own greatness.
I guess, like, even if you think things are hard, like I did before, like, there's always going to be, like, a light at the end of the tunnel. You just got to keep pushing through and never give up.
Never give up.
Yes.
Yep. And I've just had this nagging thought of accessibility. Obviously, not everybody's going to see this show. Hopefully, thank God for Sophia, she's spreading this as far as she can.
It'll be on YouTube after it airs on Channel 10.
We'll spread it around.
Yes.
But, you know, maybe not everybody has access to a developmental optometrist, right? So, or a psychologist, that's awesome, you know? So there are some great checklists that parents can use, educators can use, people all over in the prisons can use. And I think Sophia has made them available through her workshops and projects.
Gold Award: The Hidden Stresses of Eye Convergence. Darkness Can Turn into a Beautiful Rainbow by Sophia Mao. It is estimated that more than 10 million children from birth to age 10 suffer from vision problems. These skill deficiencies may contribute to poor academics and performance. Many times, the children are misdiagnosed. When diagnosed correctly, deficiencies can be treated successfully. The National PTA adopted a resolution in 1999 called Learning-Related Vision Problems Education and Evaluation. They urge schools to include vision screening program tests. The American Optometric Association affirms its long-standing position that optometric vision therapy is effective in the treatment of physiological, neuromuscular, and perceptual dysfunctions of the vision system.
My name is Amy Carlisle. I'm a developmental optometrist, and what that means is that I work with kids and adults who need help using their two eyes together. And really a lot of what we do is training the brain how to use the eyes together efficiently. Convergence is what we do all day long without even realizing it. When we look far away, our eyes are pretty straight, parallel. And then when we look up close, they have to converge in. And the image from this eye and the image from this eye have to match precisely in order to have good, solid, single, clear, comfortable near vision. So, and then when we look far away, our eyes diverge back out. And then when we look up close again, they converge back in. So obviously a lot of what we do as kids in school or adults in the workplace is to converge all the time. So your tracking is excellent, but that's because you've been through vision therapy. Some of our kids can't stay on this ball for more than 2 seconds. All right, so go ahead and we're gonna look at some convergence. So convergence is pulling your two eyes in. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna push this towards the nose. And then you can see that both eyes are going in, good, and nice and far, good, and coming back out. So I would say most kids are not born with good or bad convergence skills, but they need to develop them. And so many of the kids that we see, for one reason or another, have not developed great abilities to converge their eyes. Sometimes it's a glitch in development that we're aware of, and other times we don't know why. Concussions are one of the things that can cause convergence problems. So an individual can have normal convergence and sustain a head injury and then lose their ability to converge their eyes properly. And childhood illnesses, high fevers, trauma, those sorts of things can cause convergence problems. And lack of appropriate developmental stimuli. So like our babies that don't get a lot of face-to-face contact time, or our babies that aren't allowed to kind of roll around and crawl. Maybe they're in an orphanage where they're just kind of stationary in one place and not getting a whole lot of interaction. Usually those kids don't develop really robust binocular skills or convergence skills. So one of the things that I want people to realize with convergence and or binocular vision problems is that it can take a toll on self-confidence, because typically these individuals are working 10 times harder than the kids next to them that are succeeding, and they maybe are succeeding but are drained physically, emotionally, or maybe aren't succeeding because it's just too hard for them. So a lot of the feedback we hear on our intake forms is, a kid says, I just can't, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough. Even in some cases it causes anxiety. Some of our kids might be anxious about one thing or another, and then they've got this on top of it. We actually now are working with some neuropsychologists, some developmental pediatricians, some psychologists that understand that their kids with anxiety, this may be a component. Sometimes we work with kids that have great vision out of one eye and really poor vision out of another eye, and they manage to do okay academically, but when they don't have two eyes that are working together to give them good 3D and good stereopsis, they're missing a big part of spatial relationships. They have to use more lower level spatial relationship clues, like how big something is to tell if it's closer to them, but really pure 3D is the best way to judge how far things are from us. This is just a theory that I cannot take credit for. One of our therapists, one of our senior, the higher level therapists, has worked with a number of young ladies who come in for binocular vision problems, maybe not doing so great in school, have some anxiety. We find that they're not using their two eyes together, but one of the other components is that there is a subset of individuals that are very, very thin and don't understand how thin they are. So if you think about it, if we're working with kids and adults that aren't perceiving their world properly, is it possible that perhaps they're not perceiving their own image size properly? So that's something that needs to be investigated if we want to roll into a future topic. It's not new to our practice to theorize this. My therapist has done some research, and there are some other doctors and therapists that are looking into this possible relationship, but it seems to make sense. So I'm not going to say it's like every person with a body image disorder, but I think it might contribute to some of them. Therapy is really all about going back to the foundation of the eye movement development and retraining the brain how to use the eyes effectively. So it's not so much about making the muscles stronger, it's really coordinating the muscles in most cases. And once we're able to do that, we really want our kids to be able to do that and our adults to be able to do that for a long period of time. So that's what we call stamina. So we want them to build up their stamina and be able to have good energy, good duration of eye movements. And then the last thing we want them to do is to take away all the thought process, really make it just an automatic eye movement. That's called automaticity. And once we get there, we know that they can go out into the real world and succeed and function. And depending on the age the individual does therapy, if they're a 4-year-old, we really just want to get them to 4-year-old skills. If they're 10 or 15, we want to get them to 10 or 15-year-old skills. If they're an adult that's lost their skills for some reason, we hope to get them back to where they were before their skills were lost. So that's kind of our goals in therapy. I think it is just missed a lot. I think mostly because people aren't looking for it and they don't know about it. So part of our job is to educate people about it, especially if we can just narrow it down to a few quick and simple screening tests. And we use checklists, screening checklists for symptoms, and that way that can help kind of flag kids or adults that might have trouble with convergence. And there are some other things that can cause eye strain and fatigue and double vision, but convergence is one of the biggest ones. So if you cannot explain your child's symptoms, if you're struggling in any way with school, with reading, with depth perception, with falling all over, with sports, I would recommend bringing them at very least to a developmental screening, which is more than just the screening you get in the school of the pediatricians, which is just an acuity screening. With those screenings, they're good because they do catch some big major things, but it's really just, can this eye see far away and can this eye see far away most of the time. So a developmental screening is going to delve a little bit farther into that, like how the eyes are working together. Do they have good 3D? Are they able to track, which is to move across a line of print? And if the screening detects some problems, then I would go ahead and do a full exam.
Hello, my name is Duncan Jones Jr. I am a vision therapist at Virginia Vision Therapy. Center. How did I find out about my convergence insufficiency was more or less from coming here for an interview and learning more and more about the convergence insufficiency. Then I realized that I was dealing with that my childhood of not being able to truly keep my eyes on the book. One of the reasons I wanted to be a vision therapist after really learning about my problems and my issues that I had as a kid, because I wanted to really influence the kids earlier on and have their parents thinking about this, because I did not have the chance to do it, so I really wanted to help others.
My name is Alice Robertson. I'm a counselor at Chantilly High School. I heard about eye convergence insufficiency actually through my nephew. He is 8 years old and about 2 years ago was diagnosed with an eye convergence insufficiency, and prior to that had really had some behavioral trouble in school and was also lagging a little bit behind in reading and writing and math. Given how young he was at the time, 6 years old, I think they were also seeing some behavioral concerns, and really it kind of connected to the fact that he just wasn't engaged at school. Well, you know, for parents, I think number one is just educate yourself as much as you can on the subject, and really figure out how to best advocate for your child in school. Try to work hand in hand to educate, because this is still such new information for us, but also work with a school to say, hey, maybe we could try this, or maybe we could try this. And also just be open to what the school may suggest. You know, once they learn a little bit more about what it might look like in the classroom or what symptoms the student might actually experience. So I think just really kind of opening up those doors of dialogue with the school, and then obviously kind of seeing what therapies may exist out there. And perhaps having, you know, older students or older adults who they themselves may have eye convergence insufficiency to talk about it, and to share their story. And then maybe that helps one person say, hey, this might be something that I've been dealing with for a long time and I wasn't sure quite how to handle. So I think the more we communicate and talk about it as schools and as adults and as with students, I think it's only just going to help spread that awareness.
Hi, my name is Ms. Condemi. I am a school social worker here at Chantilly High School. I have actually not heard of eye convergence. I was introduced to eye convergence and understanding eye convergence through you, Sophia. I've talked a lot with Sophia's mom and Sophia herself about eye convergence, and I think one of the best things to do would be to encourage educators to learn more about that, whether it's through asking questions through the parent or perhaps even asking for permission to speak with the doctor who is treating a student for eye convergence, because it's actually a pretty difficult concept to understand and to even detect. At times, eye convergence can first display itself as a possible learning disability, and then through education and through more in-depth assessment, eye convergence diagnoses can be made by a professional. I think the best way to spread awareness about eye convergence at the school is to actually have more discussion on it. I had actually never heard of eye convergence until it was introduced to me by Sophia's parent, and by her introducing that to me, I was able to learn more about it.
Hi, my name is Sophia Mao, and I'd like to share with you my experience. School was never easy for me as I grew up. It actually became a lot harder. When I moved here in 5th grade in Virginia, that's when I started noticing that I was really struggling in math and reading, and I couldn't understand the material that all the other children did in my class, and I always felt stupid and dumb. And as I got older, my self-esteem lowered because I felt that way. When I was in school, I would have a lot of headaches, and I felt really drained at the end of the day because of my eyes. Sometimes I'd be really tired coming to class or going to my next classes, and teachers can assume that when you don't pay attention or you can't focus, that you don't want to learn and that you're lazy. But the fact was that I wasn't. I just was like that because of my eyes, and sometimes I wouldn't be in tune when the teachers were speaking. In junior year, I found out that I had poor eye convergence. I missed a couple of weeks of school and saw 9 different doctors and finally figured out what it was. I was excited to know that there was treatment for it, and I did do the treatment, which was at the Vision Therapy Center. It really helped me a lot. And then after, when I was done with my therapy, like everything was different for me. Like school was not as hard as anymore. My self-esteem went up and I felt like a different person. And although things may look hard, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to keep hanging in there and never give up like I have.
Well, thank you all for being here today. And until the next time, have a great week. Yay.